I finished listening to What It Takes by Willow Aster, in performed in Duet by both Dioro and Sebastian. This was book 2 in the Windy Harbour series. I love book 1, so of course when the option came to do book 2 I was here for it. I will say that I did, for some reason, think this was going to be the same narrator throughout, so I thought it was going to be Andy Ant and Christian Fox. And so when I realised it was a different duo, I was like, oh, okay. It wasn't any big deal. It was just, for some reason, I don't know, I think because Andy being from the area and listening to her perform Goldie, and all the other characters, it just makes sense. So I think I just got into my head that it was going to be Andy, and I think that is all it was. But anyway, Rose is Juliet and Sebastian York is Camden. This is a friends to enemies to lovers. It is a slow burn, and it is like a dual timeline. So, I mean, a dual timeline, a flashback timeline, I don't quite know how we're describing it. So, what I will say is we need that. To understand where they are now, we need to know how they got there. And Willow does such a fantastic job of showcasing that. So we see them as they are now, this push and pull between them, these attitudes and this annoyance of each other. But their families are so close, and there is this sense of, we know they were close at one point, but what has happened? So we have these flashbacks and chapters of before when they were younger, and we see those moments of closeness and also those moments where things shifted and the moments where not nice things were said that pulls them apart. And there were moments where you were just like, oh my god, why? Why is this happening? And I mean, I would have not wanted to be near Camden either. I would have wanted to junk punch him, to be completely honest. He says some pretty dickish things. But you also know why. It's his best friend's little sister, and they made a pact that neither of them were going to go near their sisters, and obviously he took that seriously. And we see moments between them that are so sweet, and moments that really pull at the heartstrings. And of course this is the second book in the series, and so although it can be done as a standalone, I do actually recommend doing the first book in the series, because things are revealed in the first book that really are a continuation into this book. Like the whole premise of the first book, all the family are coming together because there is a diagnosis happening with a family member, and that continues into this book. And in one of the flashbacks there's more talk about that, and also losing a parental figure and the impact that had. Hello? Can I help? Nope. Okay. And I'm always walking down the street with the emotional moments, but there's in the first book that they had already lost their mother, but in this book we find out how that came to be. We may have been told in the previous book, but I've read a lot of books since then, man. But we find that out from Juliet's perspective, how that happened, and also the impact it had on her family. Hello. Because her mum was close, and then we find out that her mum still does the birthday ritual, and so the impact it has and the snowball effect of that. And no. And I think that really has that sort of impact by knowing, you know. And then we also had, in the previous book, we're introduced to Camden's two grandmothers, and in this book we're introduced to Juliet's two uncles, and the interactions between the four older people is just brilliant. And obviously we see everybody that was in the original book and the text threads from the family, which is classic, and there's Juliet's family as well, and there's like a little bit of push and pull there. It's a lot of fun with a lot of heart and emotion as well. The way they connect over food, I thought, was really a lovely addition. I will say that performance-wise, I think Rose and Sebastian were a great combination. I really enjoyed the more stoic-y performance that Sebastian brought to Camden, and the more, I was going to say flowery, but I felt like that might not be the right word choice, but the more joyful performance from Rose for Juliet, the more happy-go-lucky, I'm going to keep everything going sort of thing, unless it was about him. And then it was like, oh no, not you. And I thought they both did a really great job of conveying that push and pull of feeling something for somebody and not wanting to show it. And there was several really tough, heartbreaking moments for Juliet in feeling something for Camden and having him hurt her. And I thought the way she performed them was really, really well done. You really felt that heart crunching, cracking moment, and you just were like, poor baby. And it was just fantastic. Production was great. Highly recommend going and giving it a listen. It's available now.